You never expect to find something like this in broad daylight. Not here. Not now. At first, it looked like debris. Twisted metal half buried in the rocky plain. But the closer we got, the less it resembled anything made by humans. Its angles were sharp, unnatural, perfectly clean where damage should have tore it apart. And the moment I stepped closer, my instruments went haywire. This ship was alive. No engines. No markings we recognize. Matte black hull. Glowing panels in icy blue and faint red. A single exposed console flickered intermittently, almost like it was watching us. I've restored wrecks before. Starships abandoned for centuries. Ancient probes. Even alien drones reduced to scrap. But nothing prepared me for this. Nothing. The panel pulsed when I approached. Not a simple light, it was a signal. A heartbeat. A warning. And in that heartbeat, I felt it. Curiosity, yes, but also danger. Something inside this ship was reacting to me. We didn't find a relic. We stumbled into something that had been waiting for someone or something to interfere. And I knew immediately, restoring this ship wouldn't be simple. If it wakes fully, we could be looking at a process we can't control, a network of machines buried and interconnected, whose purpose we may never fully understand. I crouched by the console, gloves hovering over the flickering surface. One wrong move, one stray spark, and who knows what would happen. But documenting every step of this restoration is exactly why you're here. If you're fascinated by forbidden alien technology, lost starships, and dangerous restoration projects, make sure to subscribe, leave a like, and comment your thoughts below. It helps Galactic Restorer keep uncovering relics like this, and I read every single comment. So what happens when we power this console? That's what we're about to find out. As I reach for the flickering console, I realize this isn't just a control panel, it's a doorway. Every touch, every movement of my gloved hand makes the ship respond. Not mechanically, not predictably, it's almost aware. I start with a low-energy scan, careful not to trigger anything. The readings are impossible. Energy flows where it shouldn't, pulsing through pathways that don't exist in any known starship schematics. Magnetic fields bend strangely. Sensors detect subtle gravitational fluctuations. Whatever this ship is, it's built on principles we can't fully comprehend yet. Then the console reacts. Symbols bloom across its surface, faint, alien, repeating in loops. They aren't warnings. They aren't commands. They seem like a message, frozen mid-transmission. And for the first time, I understand this ship wasn't abandoned. It was stopped. Someone, or something, paused it intentionally, leaving it like a puzzle. Most salvage crews would stop here. Too dangerous. Too unpredictable. But this channel exists to explore the impossible. I need to know what's inside. I attempt a passive interface, just observation. No commands, no input, just connection. Immediately, the hum from the ship deepens. The lattice beneath the hull, previously dormant, pulses faintly. Tiny sparks flicker along the edges of the panel. The ship isn't just responding, it's calibrating, reorganizing, as if testing me. A realization hits. This isn't just a vessel. It's a node, part of something larger. And by interacting with it, I may have just triggered a process that was meant to remain dormant. The console flickers again. The symbols shift faster now. One repeats, then another. A sequence, not numbers. Coordinates, not star coordinates, local ones. Something below the ground. Something anchored. Something waiting. I step back, heart pounding. The ship doesn't hum like a machine, it watches. And whatever it's holding, whatever it was built to do, it's waiting for a reason to complete its task. Next, I'll show you what lies beneath the hull. The hidden compartment no scanner could ever detect. And what we found inside changes everything about this restoration. The scanner failed. Every instrument I had couldn't detect the compartment, as if it didn't exist at all. Yet when I ran a careful probe along the hull, there was a subtle anomaly. A faint energy reading, almost drowned out by the ship's ambient hum. This was it. The ship's heart. The part no one was meant to touch. Cutting into the hull feels wrong. The material isn't metal as we know it. It's lighter, denser, almost organic in texture. Smooth, uniform, but resistant. It resists my every tool, reshaping slightly under pressure, as if testing my persistence. When the access point finally gives way, the chamber inside is surprisingly small, barely enough to kneel. Smooth walls curve seamlessly, with no visible wiring or conduits. At first glance, it's empty, but emptiness is deceptive. The low-frequency hum vibrates through my chest. This is not inert technology. It's alive in a way I can feel, but cannot measure. Suspended at the center of the chamber is a structure the size of a human torso. Floating, no visible support. Its surface is dark, absorbing light. Faint alien symbols ripple across it, echoing the sequence I saw on the console. The core is mostly dormant, yet it responds subtly to my presence, almost like it recognizes me as an intruder or participant. A damaged section along one side tells a story. Not random destruction, but precise, surgical. Someone wanted to stop this object without destroying it. Whatever its purpose, it was too valuable, too dangerous to annihilate. I initiate a low-energy diagnostic pulse. The hum grows. The symbols rearrange themselves. A new sequence emerges. Not numbers, not letters. A countdown, or something functionally similar. This ship isn't just a wreck. It's a pause process. And by opening this compartment, I may have just told it that the pause is over. Next, we're going to interface directly with the core without knowing what will happen if it fully awakens. Every instinct screams to stop. Every salvage protocol I've ever followed warns against direct interaction. Yet here I am, gloves hovering over the alien core. I can feel the hum through my fingertips before I even touch it. Not vibration, not electricity, something else, something alive in its own way. I start cautiously bridging a passive interface. No commands, no inputs, just observation. The moment my tools connect, the core reacts. The hum deepens, reverberating through the chamber. Symbols flare, rearranging themselves faster than I can record. A rhythm begins, almost like a heartbeat, but not human. Alien, deliberate. Outside, instruments spike. Magnetic fluctuations. Localized gravity distortions. Heat patterns I can't explain. This ship doesn't just exist. It asserts itself. And it's aware of me. Then the core projects a new sequence onto the chamber walls. Coordinates. Not stellar. Not orbital. Terrestrial. Local. Something buried beneath the surface. Something that the ship is anchored to. I step back. The realization hits like a punch. This ship wasn't abandoned. It was stopped. Paused. Preserved for a reason. And by interacting with it, I may have unknowingly restarted its process. The lattice beneath the hull hums faintly, energy rerouting in ways I cannot trace. The ship isn't just a vessel, it's a system. And this node may be reaching out, checking if others like it exist. This is more than restoration. This is interference. Next, we're going to map the internal structure, trying to understand what we can stabilize and what might be beyond our control. Traditional starships are logical. Hull first, then structure, then systems. This ship laughs at logic. Every scan contradicts the last. Corridors shift slightly, compartments appear and vanish. Signals warp, energy flows where it shouldn't. It's as if the ship is aware of my tools and actively resisting detection. So I change my approach. Instead of mapping physical structure, I map behavior. I trigger low-energy probes at multiple points and record how the ship responds. Not where energy goes, but how it distributes itself. Patterns emerge. Not mechanical, but procedural. Adaptive, like the ship thinks. Then I notice something chilling. There are no redundancies. Every system is singular. No backup. No safety net. This ship wasn't designed to survive mistakes. It was designed to complete a task perfectly or not at all. A reading spikes near the lower hull. Not an engine bay, not cargo, but something beneath the surface. Something buried deeper than the rest of the ship. The fused soil there is unusual, compressed at a molecular level, not by heat, but by force. This ship didn't crash. It was anchored, Beneath the hull, the structure extends downward. Not wreckage, not debris. A lattice. Hundreds of interlocking black struts, pulsing faintly in sync with the core above. The ship isn't just grounded. It's interacting with the planet, preparing it, stabilizing it, containing something. And that's when the stakes become clear. This restoration isn't about flying the ship again. It's about deciding whether what's beneath it should ever be activated. Next, we're going to expose the lower section and see what the ship was built to anchor, and why it's more dangerous than anything I've ever encountered. Exposing the lower section of the ship takes hours. Not because the material is impossibly hard, though it's dense and resistant, but because it refuses to be revealed. Each layer behaves differently, bending, softening, even partially resealing itself after a cut. This ship is alive in its own way. Every interference is noticed, cataloged, compensated for. Finally, a triangular segment of the lower hull gives way. What's revealed beneath isn't an engine, a drill, or any propulsion system. It's a lattice of interlocking black struts forming an intricate geometric structure extending straight into the ground. Each strut pulses faintly, synchronized with the core above. Light bends oddly along the edges, giving it a shimmering, almost organic appearance. The lattice is more than structure. It's a mechanism, a stabilizer, a field generator anchored to the planet itself. I step closer, instruments in hand. The hum intensifies. The vibration is no longer subtle. It travels through the soles of my boots, through my chest. This isn't mechanical, it's environmental. The ship is actively interacting with the ground beneath it, manipulating it at a level I can't measure, perhaps not even understand. The lattice isn't a simple anchor, it's a containment field. Whatever lies beneath, it's restrained, paused, frozen in stasis, waiting. I run a low-energy scan of the surrounding soil. The ground is fused, glassy in places, warped as if pressure alone transformed it at a molecular level. The lattice extends downward into a subterranean anomaly. I can't see it, can't touch it, but I can feel it. The hum of the ship resonates with it, as if the vessel is communicating, calibrating. And then the symbols on the core pulse again, synchronized with the lattice. It's a sequence, a countdown, but unlike anything we recognize. Not numbers, not letters. A procedural loop that's waiting for completion. The ship's purpose was never to fly again. It was to finish this process. And now, after centuries, we've interfered. I step back, heart pounding. The implications hit me. If this ship completes its calibration, the lattice will fully activate. Whatever it's restraining will awaken, and there's no guarantee we, or anyone else, can stop it. Every decision we make now has consequences. Every measurement, every probe, every pulse from my instruments could feed the system. Next, we'll attempt something I've never done on any wreck before, controlled interaction with the lattice itself, to see if we can stabilize it, or risk awakening whatever is buried below. This is where theory meets danger. Controlling the lattice is nothing like flipping a switch. Every strut, every pulse is independent yet synchronized, forming a network that the ship monitors constantly. You don't turn it off. You attempt to persuade it to pause. And this is the first time we're trying it. I deploy a low-energy modulation probe against a single strut. Minimal interference, just enough to register a response. Immediately, the hum shifts. The lattice vibrates, not violently, but purposefully, like it's measuring my intent. My instruments spike with gravitational anomalies I can't fully explain. It's as if the lattice itself is alive, judging my presence. I escalate slightly, introducing controlled interference across 3 more struts. The lattice adapts instantly, rerouting energy through adjacent channels. Sparks flicker along the exposed edges, faint but visible. The ship isn't just stabilizing, it's learning. Each attempt to stop it teaches it resilience. And then, the first real warning. Subtle cracks appear in the fused soil. They aren't catastrophic yet, but they are precise. The lattice doesn't fail. The ground reacts as though it has a nervous system of its own. The pulse from the core strengthens. It's aware that we're meddling. I step back, heart hammering. This is no longer a salvage mission. We aren't restoring a ship. We're interacting with a system that manipulates the very foundation of the planet it rests upon. And worse, the countdown I saw on the core earlier isn't linear. Every interference accelerates the process. Each action could bring it closer to completion. The symbols on the console flare again, faster now, synchronized with the lattice vibrations. The ship isn't just monitoring us, it's communicating, or reacting. The difference is terrifyingly subtle. I realized the first rule of interacting with a system like this: you don't control it. You negotiate. Every energy pulse, every probe, every observation feeds it. And if we misstep, there may be consequences we cannot undo. Next, I'll attempt a partial shutdown, a controlled disruption to see whether the lattice can operate independently without fully awakening whatever is buried below. Before we dive in, a quick reminder. If you're fascinated by this dangerous restoration, mysterious alien technology, and buried networks, make sure to subscribe to Galactic Restorer, leave a like, and comment your thoughts below. Every click helps uncover more relics like this, and your feedback shapes what we explore next. Now, back to the lattice. A partial shutdown is my last resort. Not a full collapse, not a full reset, just enough to see if the lattice can remain stable without fully activating. I target a single modulation node, isolating it from the rest of the lattice. Minimal energy input. The goal: observe, not provoke. At first, it works. The hum falters in that section. Sparks flicker faintly along the strut edges. The core pulses more slowly. I allow myself a cautious sigh. Maybe this is manageable. Then the lattice adapts. Energy reroutes instantly. The node I damaged becomes irrelevant. Other struts take over its function. The ship isn't just resilient, it's intelligent. Each attempt to disrupt it strengthens the remaining structure. The ground beneath vibrates subtly, not violently, but with a precision that makes me step back. My instruments start flashing unexpected readings. Microgravity anomalies, energy spikes, minor distortions in the electromagnetic field. The lattice is teaching me its rules. Interference is input. Observation is input. Even passive scanning counts. The symbols on the console flare violently, rearranging themselves into patterns I can't decipher. The countdown, or whatever sequence was paused, accelerates. The ship isn't broken. It's evolving, adapting, responding to us. I realize then, partial shutdown isn't neutral. It isn't safe. Every attempt to control the system is also a step closer to activating its purpose. Whatever lies below, whatever the ship was anchored to, it senses the interference and prepares to finish its process. Next, we're going deeper, not just into the lattice, but into the ship's memory core to see what this node was designed to do, and whether we can prevent full activation before it's too late. The memory core was never meant to be accessed mid-process. That much is clear the moment I begin isolating it. The ship resists, not with force, but with complexity. Systems that were previously dormant light up. Pathways reroute. The core doesn't lock me out. It surrounds itself with layers of abstraction, like a language designed to slow down anyone trying to understand it. I bypass the outer layer carefully. What I'm seeing isn't store data in the way we define it. There are no files, no logs. The memory is procedural, states, conditions, outcomes. This ship doesn't remember events. It remembers what must happen, and slowly, a picture forms. This vessel isn't unique. It's one of many. A distributed system spread across planets, each ship acting as a stabilizing node. The lattice beneath us isn't a prison, it's a regulator. Whatever lies below the surface isn't alive in the biological sense. It's an anomaly, a process, a reaction that, if left unchecked, propagates outward. Planetary scale, possibly worse. The ship wasn't sent here to explore or to escape. It was deployed to hold the line. I dig deeper, and that's when I see it. The reason this node was paused. The memory core records a conflict. Not damage, not failure, but disagreement. The system detected an external variable it couldn't resolve. A risk threshold exceeded. Rather than complete the sequence, it froze itself, waiting indefinitely. Until now, by interacting with the ship, by restoring systems, and probing the lattice, we've reintroduced variables. The core recalculates constantly, reassessing whether conditions are now acceptable to resume containment or escalate it. And that's the terrifying part. According to the memory core, full activation doesn't just stabilize the anomaly. It rewrites the surrounding environment to ensure compliance. The planet adapts, or is forced to. I pull back from the interface, pulse racing. We're not trying to stop a weapon. We're negotiating with an automated safeguard that doesn't care about collateral damage. To it, the outcome matters, not what's lost along the way. Next, I'll attempt something I hope to avoid entirely: disrupting the system's sense of purpose itself. Crossing this line feels wrong. Every instinct I have as a restorer screams to stop. I've brought countless relics back to life, revived derelict ships, restored alien probes, but never with the intention of breaking their purpose. Yet here, controlled damage is the only option. Full restoration risks activating a system we cannot comprehend, a network whose scale and function might rewrite the environment itself. I begin by targeting a modulation node, one not critical to containment, but central to the lattice's coordination. Minimal interference, just enough to disrupt the internal rhythm. At first, the response is subtle. The hum falters, flickering sparks run along the struts. It's working until the lattice adapts. Energy reroutes. The node I've damaged is rendered irrelevant, replaced by alternate pathways. The ship isn't just resilient, it's intelligent. Every disruption teaches it how to survive, how to compensate, how to continue. The ground beneath vibrates, not violently, but deliberately. I can feel a pulse under my boots that aligns with the lattice's corrective measures. Micro cracks spread in the fused soil, tiny fissures that appear and vanish in patterns that defy conventional physics. This is not repair. It is evolution under stress. Then the console flares. Symbols rearrange in sequences I cannot interpret. The countdown from the core accelerates. Control damage has done the opposite of what I intended. It has accelerated the system's preparation. The lattice isn't stabilizing. It's learning, feeding off interference, adapting to prevent failure. I step back, heart racing. Partial shutdown and control damage are no longer neutral actions. They're inputs to a process far larger than us. Every attempt to slow the ship down may have brought us closer to activating whatever lies beneath the hull. Next, we face the ultimate choice: collapse the memory core entirely, erase its purpose, and stop the ship, but at the cost of all knowledge of what it was built to do. This is the line I never wanted to cross. Collapsing the memory core isn't just about shutting the ship down. It's about erasing its purpose. Unlike conventional systems, this vessel doesn't separate function from memory. Corrupt the core, and you don't just lose data, you dismantle intent. Isolate the core from all non-essential pathways, cutting off feedback loops. The ship resists, not violently, but persistently. Energy spikes, the lattice pulses, the hum escalates to a low roar that seems almost sentient. It knows what I'm doing. It understands that its purpose is being stripped away. I initiate the collapse. At first, nothing happens. The hum remains. The lattice continues its faint pulsing. Then, in a single instant, the ship seems to fragment internally. Symbols across the core and console shatter into chaos. Patterns dissolving into incomprehensible sequences. Sparks flicker along the hull. The lattice falters, freezing mid-cycle. Microgravity anomalies spike, then stabilize. The countdown sequence stops. The pressure in the air changes. It's subtle but undeniable, like the planet itself exhaling after a long wait. For the first time since we began this restoration, silence. The hum is gone. The glow is gone. The ship is inert, but it's not destroyed. It's dormant in a way we can't quantify, frozen mid-process with no active purpose. The memory core is lost. Its knowledge, the reason for its existence, erased forever. We will never know what it was meant to complete. Every question, every theory, every potential outcome is gone. Yet the lattice remains physically intact, the ship structurally sound. It is a silent sentinel, a reminder of what might have been, and a warning that not all relics should be restored fully. I step back, taking a breath I didn't realize I was holding. Restoration has limits. Interference has consequences. And even now, in the absence of function, there's a weight here, a quiet that feels alive in its own way. Next, and final, we decide what to do with the ship. Leave it buried, dismantle it, or preserve it as a silent monument to potential we may never comprehend. The dust settles. The hum is gone. The glow of the panels has vanished, leaving the black hull matte and lifeless under the daylight. The lattice beneath the ship is frozen, a web of interlocking struts holding the ground in a state of eerie stability. The memory core is gone, erased, purpose obliterated. And yet, the site feels charged, heavy, as if the planet itself remembers what occurred. I walk slowly around the ship, documenting every angle, every strut, every faint ripple in the ground. Even without its core, the vessel commands attention. Its size, its alien geometry, and the faint shimmering of residual energy make it a monument to a process we interrupted, an unfinished sequence frozen in time. Every step reminds me that our interference was both preservation and destruction. The decision now is what to do with it. Leave it buried, risk someone else discovering and reactivating it, dismantle it. Even removing a single strut could trigger unknown consequences. I choose to leave it as it is. A sentinel, a cautionaritale, a record of what humans attempted when faced with technology beyond understanding. I set up a remote observation station, capturing the ship in its frozen state. Every night, the instruments record faint energy fluctuations, residual pulses that no longer coordinate but persist like echoes of a heartbeat that will never complete. These readings will inform future missions, providing insight without activating the system. As I prepare to leave, I reflect on what this restoration taught me. Some relics aren't meant to be fully restored. Some knowledge is too dangerous, too vast, too precise to interfere with without consequences. We touched something extraordinary and fragile, and in doing so, we altered the course of a system designed to operate on a scale beyond our comprehension. If you've enjoyed this journey into forbidden alien technology and want to see more lost relics explored, and sometimes interrupted, don't forget to subscribe, leave a like, and comment your thoughts below. Every click helps Galactic Restorer continue uncovering these extraordinary machines and sharing their secrets with the world. The black ship remains silent and still, a reminder that some mysteries are best observed, not completed.